Hi everyone, it's Linnea for LDRS Creative, and today we're going to be making a mini album using the mini craft albums from HSN as well as the HSN Celebrations Mega Craft Bundle. So here's the craft mini album. You're going to have this album and just fold right on the crease lines, the score lines, whatever you want to call them, folds really easily. And then I just like to fold this kind of back and forth to get that binding a little bit looser so that those edges of the cover of the mini album will lay flatter. Now here's the spine. It looks like a little piece of cardstock with a whole bunch of score lines in it. And all you're going to do is fold back and forth on the score lines. There are going to be taller peaks like you see here, and then smaller, flatter areas, and those are going to adhere onto the inside of the mini album. So you should have something that looks like this when you're all done scoring and folding. I like to use double-sided adhesive on the inside of those tall peaks and glue them together. You can use liquid adhesive, you can use tape runner, whatever you want, but you do want it to be something strong because these are the spines of your mini album. They're going to be supporting all of your pages and you want this to be held together really well. Once I have all of those tall peaks adhered together, I'm adding adhesive. I'm using the strong double-sided adhesive as well as some liquid adhesive. That's going to give me a bit of wiggle room. I'm adding both of those adhesives to the back of the spine, and I'm going to place this right on the inside of the binding of the mini album. It fits perfectly, so those edges are going to line right up with where you've already scored the cover of the mini album. Then I like to take a bone folder, but you can just use your fingers. But I like to take a bone folder and really press those spines into the binding of the mini album. Then I'll set that aside for a little bit to adhere, and I'm going to start working on my pages. Now, LDRS Creative also has a pack of slimline envelopes and cards on HSN, and I've taken these envelopes, trimmed off a little bit from each side, and these are going to be my pages. So you can adhere cardstock or pattern paper onto the little spines here, but the fun thing about using these envelopes is that now I'm going to have a pocket. You can kind of see how that pocket is forming here. So you can stick extra photos, journaling pages, whatever you want to inside of each one of these pages. Look how fun that is. So I just added adhesive onto both sides of one of the spines and then added that envelope onto the spine. I just pinched the top and the bottom and that created like a little pocket, and I adhered that on. Now I'm going to use the pattern papers from the Celebrations Mega Craft Bundle, and I'm just going to start decorating. I'm going to decorate the inside of my mini album using the balloons paper. I liked to cut these a little bit smaller than the size of my mini album. That way I had that white border, but you could go edge to edge if you wanted. Now I'm going to decorate that envelope, and I'm just using some of the pattern paper, some of the ephemera pieces, and just gluing things together here and there. I wanted to show you how I created some pockets for my craft mini album because I did this on a whole bunch of the pages. I took an LDRS Creative die from my stash and I added that onto a piece of vellum. I'm going to give that just a second to set up. Then I trimmed around the edges. I added some foam tape around 3 of the sides so the top of that square is left open. And then I'm going to add that onto that pattern paper, and that creates a little pocket for a tag. This tag is actually a piece of the pattern paper and that I have cut apart into individual little rectangles and squares, and I just thought that they were super cute for adding little extra journaling notes or little pieces of ephemera here and there. I created these kinds of pockets on a lot of my pages. In addition, because I used the envelopes, you can see that there's that bonus pocket on each one of the pages I'm going to create. So for this one, I just took a piece of colored cardstock and I added 2 little circles onto the side to create a kind of pull tab. And I added some lines with a marker and a ruler. I'm going to quickly create a second page because I wanted to show you a different way to create a pocket. I took some of the Celebrations pattern paper, cut it down to the size I wanted, and then added strong double-sided adhesive, again, only to 3 sides. That's going to create your pocket. And then I just added some die-cut oval shapes and I took some pattern paper, stapled that onto the top to create little flags, and that makes a little makeshift pocket. So there are lots of little things to pull in and out of these pages. I'm going to adhere this envelope. This will be page 2 in my mini album. So I'm just taking my liquid adhesive, adding it onto both sides of one of those spines, and then I'm going to pinch the top and the bottom of my envelope. Remember, these are the LDRS Creative slimline envelopes, and I've cut a little bit off of each end so that I have an open end to adhere to the spine, and then an open end at the edge of my mini album so that I can add little tags and journaling notes onto each one of these pages. I went ahead and I finished up so that I have 5 envelopes in total for a total of 10 pages front and back. And now I'm going to take some of those pattern papers and add them onto my mini album. You can use the same patterns for the front and the back covers, but I decided to switch it up. And I just made sure that all of my patterns had some gold foiling on it to make that a little bit cohesive. I added some ephemera onto the front, and this craft mini album is finished. So let's go ahead and take a peek through this whole album that I did using envelopes as my pages. You can see here that I've added lots and lots of little pockets, so there's lots of room to add photos or little journaling notes. It's perfect for a birthday gift, or even if you wanted to journal for somebody. Maybe they had an anniversary or something like that, and you wanted to create a little craft album to give them as a gift. I used lots of different shapes, circles, squares, rectangles to make things look fun, but the idea was the same on every page. I just took those little outline dies and added adhesive onto 3 sides to create a pocket. I used lots of different inserts for the edges of my mini album as well. Sometimes it's a little square with some journaling notes. Sometimes it was a blank piece of colored cardstock so that you can add a photo. And there's lots of room still, even with these journaling tags. You can see as I squeeze the top and bottom of the envelope, there's lots of extra room for you to tuck additional photos or additional notes, little keepsakes into these pockets. Some of the pages I just kind of decorated and left them look pretty. Here I cut apart a whole bunch of pieces of pattern paper, so you can add small photos, mementos onto the bottom of that page, or even if you wanted to journal there, you could. This is one of the mini albums that I made using the envelope, so there are those additional storage pockets on each page. I'm going to grab another one that I made using cardstock pieces. So if you don't want to use the envelopes, you don't have to, but I thought it was an easy way to add some extra room without a lot of effort. So here's a second mini album, and this one I decorated using all of the same pattern paper on the front. So I wanted to give you an idea that you can use different pattern papers or the same. This album has the same feel with little pockets and tags, but I used the pattern papers from the Celebrations Mega Craft Bundle, and I adhered 1 pattern paper to each side of the spine, so there aren't any additional pockets on the side, but you can still add lots of pockets onto each of the pages. Here I added a little circle pocket with little flags so you can have people write little notes if you wanted to and tuck them in. Here I used a tag die and just cut that out from some of the pattern paper. Again, just creating lots of little spaces for memories. I hope you enjoyed this look at the LDRS Creative Craft Mini Albums from HSN, as well as the HSN Celebrations Mega Craft Bundle. Both of these items are available at hsn.com. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I'll see you soon. Bye!